My sister, a top-tier celebrity, was exposed for only scoring 21 on her college entrance exams, and I, her slacker brother, ended up catching heat for it too. People started dragging me through the mud as well. After all, if my sister only got a 21, how smart could her brother be? I was so pissed I flew back from abroad on the spot and made a surprise appearance on the show. I was determined to win back some dignity for the both of us. When they announced that the final guest was me, the stunningly beautiful face of Liu Ruyan showed surprise for the very first time. Her gorgeous eyes were filled with disbelief, and even a hint of nervousness. Then, the director cut the feed, and I suddenly appeared on camera. It caused an instant sensation. Holy crap, what level of handsome is this guy? All the eye candy lovers were in shock. Where on earth did the production team find him? Look at his eyes, they're amber-colored. He's breathtaking. Director, cut back to him. I haven't taken enough screenshots yet. The camera followed me as I walked up to Liu Ruyan. Stopped right in front of her, looking her up and down. The audience held their breath in anticipation. The director on set was so nervous she was gulping down water. Everyone knows what Liu Ruyan is like. She's so ruthless she'd even call out her own seniors. And the most important thing is, Liu Ruyan's expression right now is so strange. Who knows what's going to happen? If Liu Ruyan starts cursing all of a sudden, it'll be a total live broadcast disaster. The director was ready to cut the feed immediately. Liu Ruyan cleared her throat awkwardly, preparing to say something. The director had her hand over the power button, ready to kill the broadcast. That's when I spoke, my voice sounding cool and detached. Go back, change your clothes, and dye your hair back to its natural color. The director was left completely confused, and the audience in the chat room was just as baffled. Everyone was puzzled. They looked back at Liu Ruyan, who never gives anyone a nice look on camera. She tilted her head, looking utterly aggrieved, and mumbled softly. I got it. The live chat screen went silent for a full 6 seconds. What did she say? I didn't catch that. To the person before me, she said she got it. Why did she drop the act? Why does Liu Ruyan look like she's in trouble? This is terrifying. Liu Ruyan, that's not your personality, is it? Go get the team flag. Get the orange one, it's my lucky color. Liu Ruyan nodded obediently and jogged over to where the flags were kept. He's ordering Liu Ruyan around? Oh my god, am I having a dream? What is going on? Liu Ruyan, what is happening here? Liu Ruyan was just as shocked. Her brother, who was all the way over in the United States, had suddenly appeared right in front of her. Why did no one tell her? And why was he suddenly on the same show as her? Watching Liu Ruyan jog away, I stood behind her, and couldn't help but roll my eyes. I really couldn't bear to look at this. How could anyone wear jeans with 8 holes in them? Meanwhile, the live chat was going absolutely wild. Did I see that right? The handsome brother just rolled his eyes. Is he annoyed with Liu Ruyan? Don't you guys find this weird? Why does Liu Ruyan look like she's been put under a spell? She wouldn't dare act up in front of a hunk like him, right? If it were me, I'd be twisted into a pretzel trying to impress him. Maybe you would, but that, act tough, Queen Liu Ruyan wouldn't. Liu Ruyan walked closer, only to find the little orange flag had already been taken, so she asked politely. Excuse me, senior, would you mind trading flags with us? The actors wanting the orange flag were Shen Yuchu, who was teamed up with Cao Shuquan. This was the Ice Queen beauty she had seen at the Jingming Film Festival just a few days ago. It's our lucky color. If you could let us have it, we'll owe you a favor. Liu Ruyan had done variety shows before, so she knew that forming alliances was key, and the sooner, the better. Shen Yuchu and Cao Shuquan were stunned by Liu Ruyan's politeness, and the live chat screen was flooded with comments. Since when did orange become their lucky color? I have no idea either. Liu Ruyan ran over to me holding the little flag, looking like a kid who just won a fight and came home to gloat. Big brother, look, I got it. Liu Ruyan, aren't you going to introduce him to everyone? The host, having been tipped off by the station manager about my identity, chimed in while the broadcast was at its peak. Liu Ruyan looked at me in my suit. She had never seen me look this sharp before. Did he suddenly come back to the country just to be on the show and support me? She knew I had been recuperating abroad, and my condition made it hard for me to be around strangers. How could he risk his health just for me? Asterisk, she thought to herself. Feeling more and more guilty, seeing Liu Ruyan spacing out, I took over from the host. Hello, everyone. My name is Liu Ruoqiang, Liu Ruyan's older brother. I gave my stunned little sister a firm pat on the shoulder. It was a decent thud. Daydreaming on the job? That deserves a smack. Liu Ruyan winced, finally snapping out of her shock and confusion. He's my brother. A moment later, a bewildered Cao Shuquan asked, Are you two biological siblings? I nodded, yes. Cao Shuquan blinked, looking at me with pure curiosity. But I hadn't heard you were coming on the show at all. My company sponsored this program, I replied. I'm a last-minute addition. Cao Shuquan's question was exactly what the audience was wondering. But my answer was just too wild, basically shouting, I'm the big money bosses for everyone to see. You really have to hand it to them. I suddenly believe they're brother and sister now. They've got the same personality, blunt and say whatever's on their mind. Wow, a surprise guest spot. She's losing all dignity just to try and clean up her reputation. Seeing the atmosphere turn awkward, the host quickly stepped in. Now that everyone's acquainted, let me explain the rules. He moved on to describe the first challenge. A mix of Sudoku and a 400-meter dash. Member 1 solves a 9-grid Sudoku puzzle on stage. Once finished, they raise the team flag. As soon as member 3 at the starting line sees the signal, they can begin their 400-meter sprint. After the race, teams will choose their transportation to the lodging based on their ranking. The moment the host finished announcing the rules, Liu Ruyan headed straight for the starting line. The reason was simple. My brother is wearing a suit today and can't run, and I'm hopeless when it comes to athletics. Back in middle school, my 800-meter time was 7 minutes. She walks faster than I run. Of course, there was one final reason. My brain is definitely sharper than hers. Watching the two of them without any coordination whatsoever, my brain really is sharper than hers. Looking at the two of them, it's clear they didn't discuss this at all. Everyone was still confused, but once they saw me wearing a suit, it clicked. In competitive games, being weak is the ultimate sin. Being a handsome guy doesn't mean anything if you don't have the brains for this. What did that person earlier mean? About having a sister with a certain college entrance exam score? How smart could the brother be anyway? Getting a 0 on the exam doesn't mean the person is a total 0. He's just playing the fans. You don't actually believe him, do you? The Liu siblings are just pretty faces. Cao Shuquan is still there discussing things with Shen Yuchu. Cao Shuquan's main job is a gaming streamer. His reflexes and thinking are actually pretty sharp. But he's never done Sudoku puzzles before, so it's hard to say if he'll hold them back. Chen Ze smiles at his partner. Am Kai? Am I, my lawyer? Let me handle the Sudoku puzzle. I'm actually pretty good at it. Kai didn't expect Chen Ze to take the lead on the puzzle. She gave a faint smile and said, no problem, I'll head over to the stage area. I finally get a good look at the main guy, Chen Ze. As a popular young celebrity, Chen Ze is very handsome and has a sweet vibe, the type that older folks would instantly love. Hi there, big brother, Chen Ze greets me, sounding very well behaved. I just give him a sidelong glance and a curt nod in response. Chen Ze looks at the camera a bit awkwardly, as if he's asking the audience, what should I do now? Sure enough, the comments in the live stream are getting heated again. They're siblings, alright, both have such rotten attitudes. So stuck up. What exactly is he acting so superior about? Hey, pretty boy, just because you're good looking doesn't mean you can bully people. Someone in the chat fires back immediately. They barely know each other, get over it. What are they supposed to talk about? The price of cabbage? You can't expect everyone to be instant best friends. Watching the comments from backstage, Li Xia is seething. She didn't expect the surprise guest to be Liu Ruyan's brother, and now the whole comment section is obsessing over the Liu siblings. They've even started a shipping hashtag for them. If this keeps up, Chen Ze won't be able to gain any followers. Just then, the show's staff airs a short clip explaining how to play Sudoku. The elements of Sudoku include rows, columns, and blocks. These three define Sudoku's unique structure of 3 different types of zones. The goal of Sudoku is to ensure that every number from 1 to 9 appears in each of these zones. The difficulty level for this round. The show's average completion time is 9 minutes and 50 seconds. Don't worry if you've never played or don't understand. You can just think of it as a fun logic game. Once the rules were explained, Li Xia immediately had her paid commenters flood the chat. Before long, the comments were perfectly synchronized. Chen Ze is a top-tier graduate from X University. He'll definitely finish fast. The brainpower fans are totally hooked. Looking forward to seeing X University student Chen Ze in action. Chen is your surname, Chen Ze is your name, and being a star is your destiny. Our Chen Ze is a genius from X University, unlike those people who got 0 on their entrance exams. Oh my god, I had no idea this handsome guy was so highly educated. Li Xia watches as Chen Ze's name takes over the chat, and a smile gradually creeps across her face. Before the show started, she had already secretly leaked the Sudoku puzzle to Chen Ze. Chen Ze had already practiced it and remembered the answers. He just needs to pretend to think about it and fill in the answers slowly. For the sake of authenticity, she even specifically instructed Chen Ze to wait until after 8 minutes to finish. He needs to finish just a little bit faster than the show's average time. But not too fast, that way it proves his performance is genuine. Once it's done, we'll buy a few top-tier trending spots. That won't just ruthlessly put Liu Ruyan to shame. It'll also be a massive boost for gaining fans who love high-achieving guys. The show producer specifically added a trash talk segment before the game starts. Cao Shuquan is a streamer, and he's great at creating highlights. He put on a smug look. Hey, although I'm a game streamer now, and it has absolutely nothing to do with my college major. I actually majored in Chinese language and literature back in the day. A puzzle game like this is a piece of cake for me, brother. Don't go crying when you lose in a little while, okay? He was talking to me, and he even winked at me while he said it. I fell silent. I've seen way too many guys wink at me back in the States. But my sexual orientation is normal, so I had no idea how to respond. Does Cao Shuquan have a crush on me? Well, I guess. I've been charming since I was a kid. I was lost in thought for a bit too long. So long that Cao Shuquan thought I was giving him the cold shoulder. He awkwardly scratched his head. He didn't know why I wasn't responding. Chen Ze looked a bit annoyed. Liu Ruoqiang, brother, little brother Shuquan is talking to you. This Liu Ruoqiang is so rude. I guess you can't get two different kinds of people from the same mother. He's just as disgusting as Liu Ruyan. Makes me sick. Is he bullying Cao Shuquan because he's a smaller celebrity? What's with the cold attitude? If Cao Shuquan isn't happy, then our whole gaming circle isn't happy. Which means our gaming circle is unhappy. My train of thought was interrupted. I glanced at Chen Ze, then back at Cao Shuquan, still trying to figure it out. Is Cao Shuquan really flirting with me? Whatever. If I can't figure it out, I won't bother. I changed the subject and asked, what does Chinese language and literature have to do with Sudoku? Was he actually thinking about that? Such a slow reaction time. Yeah, that's right. I was just wondering what Chinese language and literature has to do with Sudoku too. We didn't even have to take advanced math. Why is he acting so adorably clueless? Brother, you're so cute. Cao Shuquan wiped the sweat from his forehead. I mean, it has nothing to do with it. I was just making a little joke. I was deep in thought. Chen Ze almost laughed out loud when he heard my answer. Those Liu siblings are the same. Zero emotional intelligence. Cao Shuquan was obviously using a self-deprecating tone to appear humble. That means he's worried he might lose. So he's lowering expectations ahead of time so it doesn't look as bad if he loses later. At this point, I should just play along and give him an out. It's alright, Shuquan. People playing Sudoku for the first time usually go a bit slower. But if you take your time and reason it out, you'll get it. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Cao Shuquan looked at me with gratitude. Thanks, brother. Chen Ze was planning to build an image on the show as a highly intelligent, artistic young man. Someone who is indifferent to fame and fortune. It was just his turn to throw some shade. He replied, I played a bit of Sudoku when I was in college. If there are any spots you really don't understand, you can come ask me. Friendship first, competition second, right? The glimmer in Cao Shuquan's eyes grew even brighter. Chen Ze, you're the best. I'm literally sobbing, but I'll make sure to lose fair and square. Chen Ze said with a smile. Then he looked over at me, flashing his most gentle, friendly smile. What is this, some kind of act? Cao Shuquan's little stunt is obviously just a desperate move to get some shipping clout with me. Wow, so smart, as expected from someone who clawed their way up in the streamer world. You really know how to read the room. You know if you latch onto Liu Ruyan's brother, you're guaranteed to trend. Trying to force a ship for the traffic? Your hands sure are fast, aren't they? But hey, two can play at this game. He looked at me with the softest, most tender eyes. The chat was blowing up with praise. Chen Ze is so incredibly gentle. Who else is drowning in Chen Ze's eyes? I froze for a moment. I was busy processing the conversation between Chen Ze and Cao Shuquan. By the time I snapped out of it, I caught Chen Ze looking right at me, almost as if he were waiting for my response. I thought for a second, no need to go easy on them. If you suck, go practice more. If you can't handle losing, don't play. I started thinking about the dream again. In the dream, Liu Ruyan and Chen Ze were on the same team. Liu Ruyan was in charge of the running, and Chen Ze was in charge of the Sudoku. Chen Ze was the first to finish the puzzle, giving Liu Ruyan a head start. Mid-run, she tripped over a cat that suddenly bolted out of nowhere. Liu Ruyan smashed her knee, it started bleeding, and she chose to withdraw. So they ended up in last place. And because of that, Liu Ruyan got absolutely trashed by the netizens again. Even though some people stood up for her, saying it's normal not to be able to run with a bloody knee, a huge mob of netizens still kept saying she was useless, a total failure, and that she was just dragging Chen Ze down. I called out to the people at the starting line, Liu Ruyan, take it slow. Watch where you're going, don't fall. She didn't change her expression, but the tips of her ears started turning bright red. The viewers in the live stream immediately caught the detail. Look at Ruyan's ears. They're bright red. What's going on with you? Where's your cold exterior? Aren't you supposed to be a total ice queen? Brother, I love you. He's so gentle. Why does my brother only call me a dog and tell me to get lost? Ah, I'm so jealous. I'm green with envy. Liu Ruyan, how do you deserve all this? Sitting in the back, Li Xia gritted her teeth. This guy is definitely trouble. This Liu Ruoqiang is clearly a pro at this. There's no way he's this good at playing to the crowd by accident. Are these siblings trying to drive us crazy? One Liu Ruyan was already enough. Now we have to deal with Liu Ruoqiang too? But it doesn't matter, the focus will be back on Chen Ze soon enough. Once Chen Ze finishes that Sudoku first and starts trending, the buzz will be instant. Besides, she had a little surprise ready for Liu Ruyan. Once she face plants and someone snaps a photo, that's another trending topic. Chance to really drag her through the mud. Thinking about that, Li Xia felt a little better. The Sudoku competition officially began. All three of them flipped their boards. The second they saw the questions, Cao Shuquan put on a mask of pure agony and, before long, started clawing at his hair. Chen Ze, on the other hand, was incredibly elegant. He thought calmly, gently furrowing his brow as he stared at the puzzle, writing with deep focus. Comments from Chen Ze's fans pop up in the live chat every now and then, but the name Liu is still the one appearing the most. After seeing the question, I curled my lips into a faint smile. My expression was relaxed, but why did Liu Ruoqiang look so sarcastic? With "Is that all you've got?" written all over my face, my brother gave a soft chuckle. I was completely spellbound. Liu Ruoqiang is writing so fast. 2 minutes later, I put pen to paper and handed my answer board to the judges behind me. Li Xia screamed, "How is that even possible?" Chen Ze gasped in shock. "How is that possible?" Like a stone creating 1,000 ripples, it wasn't just Li Xia and Chen Ze who were stunned. The viewers in the live stream went wild too, but under everyone's gaze, I didn't feel a thing. I lowered my cool, indifferent eyes and wiped the ink off my hands with a tissue. The judges compared my answer board, then nodded. "Congratulations, you got them all right." Cao Shuquan suddenly realized the truth. So I was the only clown all along? Chen Ze's face twisted a little, but he quickly regained his composure. "Brother, you write so fast. You're even better than what I've played before. It's like you already knew the answers." "That's amazing." I glanced at him, confused. "What's so hard about this? Is it really that difficult?" I thought about it and replied, "If you're bad at it, practice more. If you can't handle losing, don't play." Cao Shuquan was so shocked he dropped his pen. "No way, bro. You're really not afraid of getting hate, are you?" At the same time, the hashtag Liu Ruoqiang Sudoku was quietly trending. Liu Ruyan's eyes never left the stage. The moment she saw me raise the flag, she started sprinting. Forget being a cool girl or looking aloof. She threw all of that out the window. This was an opportunity my brother had won, and she couldn't hold him back. The microphone was on, and my voice boomed through the loudspeakers. With a hint of irritation in my voice, I said, "Liu Ruyan. Try speeding up again and see what happens." Liu Ruyan's stride faltered, and she nearly tripped. She looked toward the stage in my direction, dazed. I said softly, "Slow down." Backstage, Li Xia's assistant held the cat and asked cautiously, "Sis, should I still put the cat out?" Li Xia watched the live chat, seeing everyone shipping the Chang Yan CP, and she was fuming with rage. "Get out of here." The assistant was confused. "But I don't need to pass gas right now, I can't." Li Xia was so furious her head was about to explode. I said get out. The results were in. The first place winners were me and Liu Ruyan. Second place went to Chen Ze and Mi Kai, and third to Cao Shuquan and Shen Yuchu. The director let Liu Ruyan choose the transportation first. Liu Ruyan turned to me and whispered, "Brother, you pick." The options were a car, a bus, and an electric scooter. I didn't want to go zipping around on an electric scooter with Liu Ruyan. Nor did I want to squeeze into a crowded bus, so I chose the car without hesitation. I walked back from the director's side and returned to Liu Ruyan. Liu Ruyan swatted away the microphone. "Big brother, take a nap in the car." I nodded. My adjustment disorder requires a special medication to keep it under control, and the side effect is that it makes me super drowsy. I need to sleep at least 13 hours a day. Seriously, we're filming right now. It's obvious I'm sleep deprived. It's so easy for me to have an episode if I don't rest. It was time for second place Chen Ze and Mi Kai to choose their transport. Mi Kai was hesitating. Finally, Chen Ze called out, "It's all right. Riding a little electric scooter is fine, and taking the bus is just as good. It's all about the experience, and besides, being with lawyer Mi must be really pleasant, right?" A flood of shipping them comments started popping up in the chat. Mi Kai gave a stiff, forced smile and chose the bus. Cao Shuquan came back, pulling the electric scooter the production crew had provided, and said to Shen Yuchu with a look of apology, "Teacher Shen, it's all my fault for being so slow at the Sudoku puzzle." Shen Yuchu shook her head. "No, it's not. Even if you were fast, it wouldn't have mattered. An old lady like me with my creaky joints could never outrun them." The two of them looked at each other and laughed. Their group's chemistry was exceptionally harmonious. The game came to an end, and the director arranged for us to have local specialties for lunch. Everyone sat at the dining table, all feeling quite famished. Cao Shuquan tore open his utensil package, ready to dive in. This morning was such a brain drain. "I'm so hungry, I need a major energy boost. Don't you dare tell me there's another game during lunch, or I'm gonna totally lose it." The directing team laughed. No intensity during this break. Cao Shuquan pouted, "Once you say that, food immediately loses its flavor." Shen Yuchu used her serving chopsticks to drop a big pile of meat into his bowl. "All right now, eat up while you can." Cao Shuquan started wailing theatrically. "This might be the last full meal I get since I started doing reality shows." "Just eat." Shen Yuchu couldn't help but be amused. Cao Shuquan really is a total riot. No wonder he managed to break out of the streamer scene. Everyone watched Cao Shuquan and couldn't help but crack up. Even Liu Ruyan, who is known for always being cold and aloof, showed a faint smile. The broadcast director immediately cut to a close-up of Liu Ruyan, but the fans quickly noticed. She seemed to be smiling a bit too much. She tore open the packaging for my utensils. I nodded at her, and Liu Ruyan gave me a brilliant, beaming smile. She served me some rice, and I told her to make sure she ate plenty herself. Liu Ruyan nodded happily and brought over the dishes she knew I liked. I gave her a piece of green vegetable, and Liu Ruyan just giggled like a total dork. Everyone watched how Liu Ruyan and I were interacting, and they were all visibly stunned. Liu Ruyan has been in the entertainment industry for so long, and she's never given anyone a friendly look before. Chen Ze recalled how he had been turned down by Liu Ruyan and felt a pang of heartache. He felt a bit bitter, too. He had tried so hard to win her favor, and she wouldn't even give him the time of day. I, on the other hand, treat her with indifference or snap at her. And she actually goes out of her way to be good to me? And he's supposed to be the most popular guy here. Chen Ze's voice chimed in, Liu Ruyan. You and brother Liu Ruoqiang are so close. I actually thought that because of your personality. Your relationship with the family was really bad. My chopsticks stopped in mid-air. Liu Ruyan's nasty temper hasn't changed one bit. She must have offended so many people with the way she acts. No kidding, I really feel for her agent. As her brother, I should probably apologize on her behalf. I set my chopsticks down and turned to look at Chen Ze. Chen Ze met my gaze, looking completely wronged and humiliated. We stared at each other in silence for 3 seconds before I finally spoke up. Are you angry? Chen Ze's public image wouldn't allow him to admit that he was. Even if he had his teeth knocked out, he'd have to swallow them along with his pride. Chen Ze lowered his eyes, forcing his inner rage back down. But he couldn't quite mask the tone in his voice. How could I be? I knew she wasn't emotionally stable today. His words clearly carried a double meaning. Everyone else picked up on it, too. The guests at the table exchanged glances. The atmosphere felt incredibly awkward, and nobody really knew what to say. I could tell Chen Ze was fuming, so I picked up the serving chopsticks. I put a piece of meat on his plate and said, Here. Don't be mad, just eat. Chen Ze's expression was grim, and for once, the others were speechless. What else could Chen Ze do? He just had to tear up and eat the food I'd put on his plate. Liu Ruyan frowned, watching the two of us interact. 2 minutes later, she poked my arm. Brother, I want to eat that. I followed her gaze. It was a plate of beef. Since when did she like beef? I made a mental note of it and reached over to put a piece in her bowl. Liu Ruyan ate the meat, feeling completely satisfied and happy inside. Shen Yuchu, who had watched the whole thing, couldn't help but shiver. Is she jealous? She was genuinely shocked. Liu Ruyan acts like a total diva in the industry every single day. Who knew that in private, she was actually such a brother-obsessed girl? She has a project coming up with Liu Ruyan later. If she could get closer to me, maybe their collaboration would go a little smoother. Shen Yuchu smiled and asked, Liu Ruoqiang, I saw that the show listed your occupation as freelancer. What exactly do you do? I replied nonchalantly, I trade stocks. Shen Yuchu couldn't help it. That's it? Cao Shuquan chimed in, so shouldn't your job title be something like, stock trader? I nodded. Stock trading is only a small part of my business. I do other things, too. Plus, I spend most of my time sleeping. That's why it's very, free. So that's how you interpret, freelancer. What an incredible way of thinking, Cao Shuquan thought. He remembered his own grind, where he had to live stream for 8 hours a day, and almost wanted to cry. Cao Shuquan gritted his teeth. True, it really is very, free. Chen Ze set down his bowl and chopsticks with a sigh. Brother, you're so amazing. I don't know a thing about stocks. A job like yours, where you can make money just by flicking your fingers, must be so nice. Unlike us actors, having to pull all-nighters to film. Cao Shuquan's eyelids twitched. No way, Chen Ji, are you still going? Aren't you afraid he'll say something even more shocking and scare you to death? I didn't react much and said softly, don't be jealous. If you don't like it, don't switch careers. If you don't know the ropes and just follow the crowd blindly, 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose money. Don't go wasting all the money you made pulling all-nighters on set. It won't last long. I took a minimalist business card out of my bag, but I didn't show it to the camera. I handed it straight to Chen Ze and said, with total sincerity, if you ever need help with investments or wealth management, you can come to me. Liu Ruyan glanced over. My brother only takes high net worth clients. Better weigh your own worth before you try calling him. After lunch, everyone set off for the next competition site. Liu Ruyan and I got into the car arranged by the production team. The director originally wanted us to do a bit of product placement. But as soon as I got in the car, I started sleeping. The cameraman wanted to wake me up, but Liu Ruyan stopped him. She gave a shush gesture, looking at my sleeping face with a hint of genuine seriousness. She felt a complex mix of emotions. It had been such a long time since the last time we met. Why did he come? And why is he on the same variety show as her? Her reputation isn't great. Will I end up getting dragged into the mud because of her? The mere thought of it made her feel upset. If she had known it would turn out like this, she would have just gone to the media and apologized. My brain works differently than most people's. If I get misunderstood, what am I supposed to do? I came back so abruptly this time without even discussing it with her. Could it be because she made headlines for scoring a 0 on her college entrance exam? But I've been overseas, and I don't really pay attention to entertainment news. There's no way her 0 score scandal reached all the way abroad, right? Just as she was lost in thought, I suddenly opened my eyes. What are you thinking about? When you hang your head, frown, and have that blank look in your eyes, you're almost definitely overthinking things. And you always like to imagine the worst case scenario. Liu Ruyan swatted away the microphone. I was wondering, why did you suddenly come back to the country? And why are you on the same show as me? I frowned. I couldn't exactly say it was because of a strange dream. In that dream, Liu Ruyan died a miserable death. I could only say, because I missed you. Liu Ruyan's face turned red at a speed visible to the naked eye. She suddenly got flustered. Maybe I've been abroad for too long. I'm not being subtle at all anymore. Meanwhile, the live chat was going insane. What did Liu Ruyan ask? Why did my hubby say he missed her? Wait, no. Hubby said he missed me, right? I'm having a mental breakdown, don't mind me. Hey, you in front. I need to pee. That'll wake you up. Oh my god, she's so cool. You're so pure right now. It really feels like Ruyan is a kid who's starved for affection. Real siblings are the best to ship. Li Xia, sitting backstage, was grinding her teeth in anger. This fan service is way too obvious. She looked at the screen flooded with discussions about Liu Ruyan and me. She hated that all this traffic wasn't going to her own artists. But what was even more hateful was that she couldn't do anything about it. So the audience likes to ship siblings now, is that it? She sent a message to a screenwriter she knew. You must pair Chen Ze with a CP as soon as possible. We can't just hand all this hype over to someone else for free. Meanwhile, Chen Yan, who was watching from another room, was so shocked her jaw nearly hit the floor. Is this shy, hesitant person on camera really her artist? I can't believe Liu Ruyan can act like this. She's gone from a cool, explosive don't mess with me vibe to such a soft and adorable little darling. She glanced at the live comments again. Everyone's shipping Chang Yan. That's wild. If I debuted as a star too. Welcome back to Day's accompanying knowledge. Today's second task is to find the pieces in the porcelain exhibition hall that don't match historical facts. Tag them, and the one with the most correct tags wins. Careful, each group only has 5 tags. And you can't tag an item that's already been tagged by someone else. As the host finished the introduction, the guests had different reactions. Cao Shuquan started playing the victim first. Oh man, I'm done for. For an uneducated guy like me, this is a total slaughter. Forget about finding historically inaccurate porcelain. I don't even know what kind of porcelain each dynasty is supposed to have. Director, can we get a hint? Since you put it that way, the production team couldn't really say no. We'll give you half an hour to look around and learn. Cao Shuquan said, touched. Director, you're finally acting like a human being. Mai Kai was also a bit distressed, saying, half an hour isn't enough time to learn anything. There are over 600 pieces in this hall, right? Chen Ze smiled gently from the side. I actually happen to know a little bit about porcelain. Lawyer MI, you can just follow my lead. Mi Kai gave him a compliment. I never expected you to know so much, Chen Ze. Chen Ze beamed with confidence. It's nothing. I'm just a bit interested in traditional culture. But just a moment ago, his agent, Li Xia, had already fed him the answers. This win was in the bag. After Chen Ze finished speaking with a smug smile, he looked over at me, standing blankly to the side. Brother Liu, I heard you've been abroad the whole time. Won't you be a bit unfamiliar with our Chinese artifacts? Hearing Chen Ze's words, Liu Ruyan couldn't help but frown. Why did that sound so strange? What did he mean by our Chinese artifacts? I just worked and received treatment overseas. How did I get my Chinese citizenship revoked? She knew all the twisted traps in the entertainment industry. Chen Ze said that ambiguous thing just to stir up drama. If my brother answered that he didn't know, tomorrow he'd be trending on the blacklist, specifically for the kind of unpatriotic claim that's impossible to clear. Just as she was about to speak, I chimed in. Since you know so much, why don't you give everyone an introduction? Liu Ruyan looked at me in surprise. She didn't expect my response to perfectly dodge the trap Chen Ze had set. I didn't realize my brother's emotional intelligence had actually improved over the years. All that worrying for nothing. Just as she was feeling relieved by my growth, I took out a tablet and a pen, looking at Chen Ze with a serious expression. Teacher Chen, you may begin. Chen Ze's face changed for a second, but he quickly returned to normal. Luckily, he had done his homework beforehand. He gave a light cough and said, the Shang dynasty was the birth of porcelain, though the craftsmanship was relatively low. Then, the Qin and Han were mostly pottery, and white porcelain appeared during the 6 dynasties. The Sui and Tang dynasties were the peak of porcelain development. He stumbled through his explanation, his face flushing with heat. He was so nervous he actually forgot the stuff he'd just memorized. Mi Kai stood on the sidelines, gritting her teeth, saying nothing at all. Everything Chen Ze just said is just scratching the surface. Even a high school student could recite that much, right? Is this what you call knowing your stuff? Seems like he's not so reliable after all. Looks like we'll have to rely on ourselves. Cao Shuquan and Shen Yuchu exchanged a look. They're both sharp as a tack. They can see right through the little scheme Chen Ze is playing in his head. With smirks on their faces, they watched Chen Ze, even starting to heap on the praise. Looks like Chen Ze really loves traditional culture, Liu Ruyan said, though she went even further. She let out a cold laugh, and she made sure it was super loud. I was the only one in the whole room taking notes seriously, occasionally letting out a genuine exclamation of awe. So that's how it is. Chen Ze even felt a bit touched. The game began. The production team had the guests put on blindfolds. We were randomly assigned to different exhibition halls. I took the blindfold. I reached out to feel for Liu Ruyan, found her hand, and squeezed it tight. Liu Ruyan's hand was trembling a little. She's been afraid of the dark since she was a kid. I didn't say anything, just held her hand and led her forward. A staff member reminded us, there are stairs ahead. Watch out, turn left up ahead. Be careful not to bump into the display stand, I reminded her. Come a bit this way, Liu Ruyan couldn't help but say. She's not a child, so she shouted back huffily. I don't need you to remind me. Yet, the very next second, I warned her again. It's a flight of stairs down ahead. Don't miss your step. Liu Ruyan was absolutely seething but couldn't say a word. Her whole Ice Queen image was completely shattered. This moment was screenshotted like crazy by netizens, and some even clipped the footage and posted it online. It went viral instantly, mostly because people had never seen Liu Ruyan act so obedient. They were actually a bit freaked out. The staff told us to stand still. They also collected our cell phones. The PA system in the hall crackled to life. Before the game starts, let's clarify a few things. Your score in this game will determine the lodging conditions for each of you tonight. Alright then, the game officially begins. Liu Ruyan frowned. She had read the variety show's proposal. Tomorrow's itinerary was to experience village culture, so we were heading to a rural village in the outskirts tonight. If our score is low, we won't be stuck in a straw hut, will we? She didn't mind sleeping in a hut, but she couldn't let it happen to her brother. Yet, she really didn't know much about porcelain. Should have read more books back in the day. I took off my blindfold and looked around. We had been assigned to the Song Dynasty Hall. The Song Dynasty, a period when the porcelain industry was at its peak, focusing on every minute detail. It valued the sensory experience, famous worldwide for the 5 great kilns, Ru, Guan, Jie, Ding, and Jun. Song porcelain celebrated the beauty of natural glaze. I carefully read the introduction on the plaque. Then I looked at the various exquisite porcelains in the gallery and couldn't help but praise. Damn, this is incredible. Over in the neighboring Qing Dynasty Hall, Chen Ze and Mi Kai took off their blindfolds. The porcelain on display was blue and white, and polychrome glaze. Mi Kai muttered, the Qing Hall. Chen Ze rubbed his eyes. He looked at the blue and white porcelain in front of him and couldn't help but admire. The white glaze and blue patterns formed in a single firing. The floral patterns stand out clearly through the glaze. These really are priceless treasures. The two wandered around the gallery for a while, and Chen Ze excitedly rushed toward one display stand after another. Pointing at the blue and white porcelain inside, he exclaimed, oh my god. We are so lucky, we found one so quickly. Mikai hurried over to Chen Ze's side. A stem cup was displayed on the pedestal in front of them. Chen Ze smiled and said, the label says it's a blue and white cloud and dragon pattern stem cup, imitation Qing Dynasty, but... Look at this blue and white porcelain. It's clearly not a Qing Dynasty imitation. Mikai looked confused. How could you tell? Chen Ze laughed. The colors, look at them. You see, the color is dull and muted, compared to all the other porcelain here, which are so bright. Mikai went to check the other exhibits to compare. The one in front of her was indeed different. Mikai praised him sincerely. You're truly amazing. Chen Ze happily took out the label, and stuck it onto the glass of the display case. This is great. We must be the first ones to score. At the same time, the exhibition hall's broadcast started. Verification successful. A corner of Chen Ze's mouth curled up. He had memorized all 10 answers. That last Sudoku incident was just a fluke. This time, he would definitely reclaim what was rightfully his. The man who is both brilliant and handsome. That could only be him. The broadcast continued. Congratulations to the Liu Ruoqiang and Liu Ruyan team for successfully earning 1 point. Viewers were rapidly leaving Chen Ze's stream, while the number of people in Liu Ruyan's stream skyrocketed. Soon, a large group of curious netizens clicked into the livestream clip to watch. In the dimly lit exhibition hall, Liu Ruyan followed close behind me. Brother, we might end up sleeping in a thatched hut tonight. I turned back. Not a chance. Liu Ruyan said helplessly, I'm serious. We'll definitely be staying in the village tonight. We need to get some mosquito nets or mosquito coils. I said flatly, no need. Seeing me walking ahead without paying her any mind, Liu Ruyan's mood began to drop. Why are you like this? Just like you've always been since we were kids. I pointed at a bowl and said to her, Ruyan, stick the label on that. Not daring to ask any questions, Liu Ruyan took out the label given by the production team and stuck it on the glass. 2 minutes later, we left the Song Dynasty Hall and headed to the Yuan Dynasty Hall next door. On the way, Liu Ruyan finally couldn't help but ask, "Brother, how did you know that one was wrong?" She was dying of curiosity. "Don't tell me you've actually studied porcelain?" I explained. "In the last half hour, I used the cloud browsing feature to look through all the exhibits here." "That porcelain from earlier? It was originally displayed in the Tang Dynasty Hall." Liu Ruyan was stunned on the spot. Cloud browsing? This exhibition center did have an online browsing mini-program. It was called something like AR Exhibition Tour. He had looked through all the exhibits, and the director's team had already collected the phones. That meant he had memorized all the exhibits here? Liu Ruyan beamed with joy. "So we don't have to sleep in a thatched hut tonight." She looked incredibly beautiful at that moment, full of the uninhibited and vibrant spirit of youth. Ordinarily, her looks fans would have already flooded the comments section. But right now, the audience's focus was still on what I had just said. My words were too shocking. I turned back to glance at my sister, who was acting so silly. Smile couldn't help but tug at the corners of my mouth. "We just found another one in the Yuan Dynasty exhibit." After Liu Ruyan stuck the label on, the PA system crackled to life. "Verification successful. Congratulations to Liu Ruoqiang. Team Liu Ruyan has successfully earned 1 point." Liu Ruyan was about to laugh. But then she remembered her image. She had to stay poised. She forced it back, holding it in. I was walking in front, and as if I could read her mind. I said, "If you want to laugh, just laugh." But Liu Ruyan refused. She puffed out her cheeks, determined not to let her lips curl upward. Before long, the official account for Companionship with Knowledge got swarmed. The comments section was flooded with hate, and some eye-catching headlines started trending online. Lin Wei, the cynical director sitting backstage, saw the trending topics in the online chatter, and her temper instantly flared. Who the hell leaked the script? Sure, they had a script. But it only outlined the flow and the game rules. She wanted the guests' most authentic, raw reactions. If she got slapped with the label of having a fixed show, any variety show she made in the future would just be a laughingstock. Lin Wei laughed in pure, cold rage. She hated scripted nonsense more than anything. And yet, these people had the nerve to meddle with her show. So what if they have deep pockets? Just because they have money, they can swap guests right before airtime? Just because they have money, they can buy off her team? Leaking the answers right under her nose? Alright, Liu Ruoqiang, you think you're so smart, huh? You think your little script is so well written? Solving a Sudoku in 2 minutes, memorizing the locations of 600 pieces of porcelain in half an hour. How dare they put something so absurd out in the open? The investors behind Liu Ruoqiang are a bunch of total idiots. If you have the guts to build a stage for yourself right in front of me, don't blame me when I tear it down. Lin Wei grabbed the microphone and barked at a cameraman to follow her, storming out. The screenwriter next to her tried to block her path. "Director, where are you going?" Lin Wei shoved the screenwriter aside, muttering curses. "Where am I going? I'm going to have a little chat with that Liu Ruoqiang. Let's see how smart he really is. Just a wannabe celebrity who hasn't even debuted yet. He really thinks that just because he has a famous sister, he can stomp all over me? He can take a dump on my head? Liu Ruoqiang, you've finally hit a wall." I suddenly spoke up. 10 minutes. Liu Ruyan asked, "What 10 minutes?" Explained, "The time it takes for the director's team to verify. The other teams must have found a few by now too. We need to pick up the pace." Liu Ruyan kept close to my side, and we both started walking at a breakneck speed. We found the third one in the Yuan Dynasty exhibit and were about to head upstairs to the Ming and Qing exhibit when we ran into Mi Kai and Chen Ze. The four of us met on the landing of the stairs. At the same time, the show's PA system blared. "Congratulations to Liu Ruoqiang and Team Liu Ruyan for successfully earning a point. Current score, 2 points. Ranking, first. Congratulations to Chen Ze and Team Mi Kai for successfully earning a point. Current score, 1 point. Ranking, second." The four of us heard the scores at the same time, our eyes meeting for a brief second. It felt like an invisible force was clashing between us. Chen Ze was the first to laugh. "Brother, you're really impressive. I actually thought you didn't know much about traditional culture. Turns out you were just playing dumb." Liu Ruyan frowned. "What's with that catty attitude? If you're bad at it, practice more. If you can't handle losing, don't play. Who are you trying to set up?" Liu Ruyan was just about to speak. But I stopped her. I stared intently at Chen Ze, which made him inexplicably nervous. Suddenly, I pointed at Chen Ze's head. "Your hairpiece is showing." After I finished, I grabbed Liu Ruyan and walked away. Chen Ze's eyes turned red. A sense of frustration was stuck in his chest. And he couldn't swallow it no matter how hard he tried. It was always like this. I was always stealing his spotlight, yet he acted like he didn't care at all. So infuriating. Obviously, he was supposed to be the protagonist of this novel. Mi Kai spoke up in time, breaking his train of thought. "Chen Ze?" He snapped back to reality, and gave a stiff smile. "Sorry, my bad. I was just spooked by Liu Ruyan's look, but I'm sure she didn't mean any harm." That single sentence made the audience in the livestream feel even more sorry for him. and they all started bashing Liu Ruyan and me. Mi Kai's eyes darkened, and she just said, okay. After leaving Chen Ze and Mi Kai behind, I suddenly turned around and headed toward the upper floors. Liu Ruyan was confused. Aren't we going to the Mingqing Pavilion? I nodded. They've probably already found everything there. They haven't checked the Qin Han Pavilion downstairs yet. They're going to the Qin Han Pavilion. Liu Ruyan didn't understand, but they've already earned a point there, haven't they? I nodded, but Chen Ze is missing 3 labels from his set. Turns out, besides noticing Chen Ze's hairpiece, I had also been observing that. So, the only one affected by Chen Ze's green tea act earlier was her. Then how can you be so sure that what Chen Ze picked is definitely the right one? He doesn't have your memory. I stayed silent. After a long while, I replied, he can. At least in my dream, he was 100% accurate. In the dream, Chen Ze and Liu Ruyan wandered through the exhibition hall together, and they got 6 points total. Achieving a complete victory, all 6 points were earned by Chen Ze, making Liu Ruyan look like an illiterate fool. It was from that moment on that Chen Ze's name became linked to labels like straight A student, intellectual, and gifted youth, while Liu Ruyan was tagged as a complete idiot and school failure. At first, she thought the guy was really impressive, and she didn't mind being called a fool, but later on, the more she saw, the weirder it felt. In this show, Chen Ze was like a god. He seemed to know a little bit about everything, and then he'd rack up high scores, while Liu Ruyan stood by like a moron just there to make him look good. Honestly, my sister might be a bit slow, but she's not that stupid. That's why I came here. I'm going to prove to everyone that my sister isn't an idiot. I pointed at a white porcelain vase and asked, what's the difference between this and the others? Liu Ruyan took a look. It seems a bit whiter. The others have a bluish tint. I nodded, because this one has better craftsmanship. It was originally kept in the Sui Dynasty Pavilion. Liu Ruyan obediently stuck the label on it. Now we have 4 points. We definitely won't lose. Just then, the broadcast echoed again. Congratulations to the Liu Ruoqiang and Liu Ruyan team for successfully earning 1 point. Currently holding 3 points, ranking first. Congratulations to the Chen Ze and Mi Kai team for successfully earning 2 points. Currently holding 3 points, ranking first. Congratulations to the Shen Yuchu and Cao Shuquan team. Successfully earned 1 point, currently holding a total of 1 point. Ranking third. I furrowed my brows. Chen Ze and Mi Kai have scored twice in a row, and I can't shake the feeling that something isn't right. But time is tight, there's no time to think it over. We kept searching through the Qin Han Pavilion and quickly found the 5th one. Just then, the announcement played over the loudspeaker again. The current scores are, Liu Ruoqiang and Liu Ruyan with 4 points. Chen Ze and Mi Kai with 4 points. Shen Yuchu and Cao Shuquan with 1 point. After hearing the announcement, I finally stuck the label on and waited for the production crew to come and verify it. Liu Ruyan asked, brother, aren't we going to keep looking? I nodded. I suspect 10 is the total number of points available. A middle-aged woman walked over with a cameraman, her tone sharp and prickly. Mr. Liu, you seem quite familiar with our director team's arrangements. I glanced at her but didn't say a word. The woman glared at me. Mr. Liu, you're a guest brought in at the last minute, so you haven't met me yet. Let me introduce myself. My name is Lin Wei. I am the director for the show, Days Accompanying Knowledge. I gave a simple "oh." Hello, Director Lin. Lin Wei let out a cold, cynical laugh. Her eyes were filled with mockery as she looked at me. Mr. Liu, you have indeed found the final porcelain piece. Your score is now 5 points, making you first place in this competition. Congratulations, Mr. Liu. Based on the results, you are indeed the winner. But in the eyes of some viewers, this first place spot doesn't truly belong to you. The way she said that, even I, who am usually slow to catch on, could tell something was off. Not to mention Liu Ruyan. She stepped in front of me with a serious expression. Director Lin, what you just said could be considered slander. Lin Wei let out an exaggerated shout. How could I ever dare? Mr. Liu, you are, of course, the well-deserved first place. But since the audience has questions, as the director, I have a responsibility to clarify things for them. Because of the negative trending topics online, more and more people were flooding into Liu Ruyan's and my livestream. The number of concurrent viewers hit 50 million. And keep in mind, today is a workday. Thinking it was still working hours, a few of the staff members maintaining the livestream were breaking into a cold sweat. Liu Ruyan was already popular, and now there's such a juicy scandal on top of it. The fans and the gossip seekers all showed up. I looked at the woman in front of me, who wore a smirk on her face. After thinking for a moment, I asked, do you think I cheated? Smile frozen on Lin Hui's face faltered. She hadn't expected me to call her out so directly. That's not what I meant. It's just that the netizens have some questions. Why don't we open up a live broadcast? It would be a way to give the audience an explanation. I blinked. What is wrong with this woman? Why does she keep dodging the question? Liu Ruyan tugged on my sleeve. She whispered, brother, don't agree to it. She's just trying to use this opportunity to distance herself from the situation. No matter how well you perform on the live stream, they're still going to bash you. I imitated her tone and whispered, but aren't we live streaming right now? Liu Ruyan explained, it's different. That live stream was for you to respond to the rumors. No matter what you said, it would have interpreted it in the worst way possible. I get it. I understand now. I see what you mean. I looked toward Lin Wei. I really did cheat. Liu Ruyan was completely stunned. Brother, what are you doing? The comment section was flooded with question marks. My train of thought was actually quite simple. No matter how I responded, it would be misunderstood. So, I'll just kill the misunderstanding at the source. I did cheat, so what are you going to do about it? I snatched the microphone from Lin Hui's hand. I looked around. I hadn't realized that people had crowded around me. Cao Shuquan and Shen Yuchu were staring at me, dumbfounded. Mi Kai looked on with a mix of shock and suspicion. Chen Ze's eyes held a mix of disbelief and secret delight. He covered his mouth. With his dark eyes wide, he whispered, oh my god. Brother actually cheated? This is just a variety show. Why would he do that? Everyone heard his words, and they all turned to look at him. He looked terrified, yet filled with sorrow. He looked in my direction, appearing unable to bear the sight. The cameraman swung the lens toward his face. His reaction won him another wave of public favor. Li Xia, who was watching the show from backstage, was stunned out of her wits. Oh my god, is Liu Ruoqiang crazy? Has this show lost its mind? She shook her sleeping assistant awake. Quick, get us on the trending topics now. No matter how much it costs, no matter how many marketing accounts you use. Make sure Chen Ze's name is tagged. Chen Ze's name quickly appeared in the trending search results. And it climbed to the top. Liu Ruyan was utterly bewildered. Her mouth was slightly open, showing her terror. She looked helpless, wanting to stop me. I said to her, don't move. Liu Ruyan was frozen in her tracks. Slowly, I began to recite the descriptions of every piece of porcelain from the Shah, Shang, and Zhou dynasties. I didn't miss a single word from the display plaques. My throat felt so dry that I had to cough. Liu Ruyan's beautiful face was cold as ice. She scanned the area, looking for water for me. Cao Shuquan, his eyes red, handed a bottle to Liu Ruyan. Liu Ruyan paused for a second before taking it. Thanks. She opened the bottle and handed it to me. Her voice thick with unshed tears. Brother, Lin Wei, who had just been trying to cause trouble for me, was now too scared to make a sound. Oh my god, he really didn't have a script. What was she doing before? She only wanted to protect her professional reputation. Now, in the audience's eyes, she's barely human. She wanted to beg me to stop. If I kept reciting, her career was finished. A staff member from the studio stopped me and handed her a phone. The station manager needs to talk to you. As soon as Lin Wei answered, the manager's furious voice pierced through the earpiece. Do you have any idea who he is? He is the big boss of Qianyi Investment. I couldn't afford to offend him even if I sold the whole station. You lunatic. You actually forced him to prove himself? No one could have ever imagined this. The turnaround was so fast. The trending topics on social media right now look absolutely ridiculous. The top comment, with the most likes, telling people not to empathize with Chen Ze, really hits the mark. Empathize with Liu Ruoqiang instead. He's just a newbie, a punching bag. But the reply to that top comment is, he's got a solid moral compass, though. The guy who labeled someone a green tea, without a shred of proof. And you dare talk about a solid moral compass? The top comment under Chen Ze's values post says, what values? Is it jealousy? Is it rumor mongering? You guys were the ones who attacked the officials earlier, right? Absolutely disgusting. You just can't stand it when someone is better than you, so you accuse them of cheating. You're probably the one who's cheating. Backstage, the drowsy assistant saw the numbers skyrocketing and was over the moon. Boss, our brother Z has finally gone viral. Li Xia took the phone with a huge grin. Her eyes went wide when she saw the comment count had hit 10,000. Chen Ze is blowing up. We've got resources pouring in from every direction. He's jumping straight to A-list status, and he's going to completely crush Liu Ruyan. She had finally managed a top-tier star. The good life was just around the corner. Turns out, your luck really does turn around. Back then, she suppressed Liu Ruyan and pawned her off to someone else. But so what? Now, isn't Liu Ruyan just a stepping stone for her own artist? Li Xia clicked on the link, and her laughter cut off instantly. Liu Ruoqiang had already admitted to cheating. Why were people still sympathizing with him? Why was everyone calling Chen Ze a green tea snake? Where were the internet trolls she bought? She frantically clicked into the livestream room, which had over 10 million viewers. After learning what happened, she was so furious she almost coughed up blood. She smashed the assistant's phone on the ground. Are you brain dead? It's all negative comments. You call this going viral? The assistant looked at the shattered phone and wanted to cry, but out of fear of Li Xia's wrath, she didn't dare say a word. Tears welled up in her eyes. Li Xia was beyond livid. Why are you crying? Get that trending topic taken down, now. The assistant stood there, stunned. That trending topic had only been up for 30 minutes. If they took it down now, hundreds of thousands of dollars would go down the drain. Plus, the assistant bit her thumb. looking totally lost. The training never taught her how to remove a trending topic. Li Xia's head was pounding. Get out of my sight. The assistant really did scurry away. Li Xia held her head and called the PR agency. Take down the trending topic. Yes, exactly. It's only been up for 10 minutes, and the follow-up content from the contract wasn't even implemented. Can you give me a discount? The person on the other end laughed. Removing a trending topic costs extra, honey. Li Xia felt a surge of sweetness in her throat, and spat out a mouthful of blood. Meanwhile, I had finished reciting the Han Tang Pavilion, and was about to start on the Song Dynasty section when director Lin Wei stepped out. She faced the camera with a smile. Everyone has seen it now. Our contestant Liu is relying on his own strength. There is no such thing as a script for our show. However, the people in the livestream weren't buying it. Stop the damn nonsense. Stop torturing Liu Ruoqiang. Let him take a break. Old hag, stop blocking Liu God's screen. You parasite. Using a guest as a scapegoat. We're talking about you, Lin Wei. I'm completely done with that old geezer. I actually thought you were a director with integrity. A director with a heart. Turns out, you're just trash. Lin Hui's heart was bleeding. All that goodwill from the audience she'd built up over the years. Gone in an instant. What can she even do now? Just lie flat and take the mockery. She ran over to my side, bowed, and said respectfully. Mr. Liu, all the rumors have been cleared up now. You can take off the blindfold. I paused for a moment, turned toward the sound of her voice, and asked, did I cheat? Right now, my eyes are covered, leaving only the sharp, handsome half of my face visible. But the aura surrounding me is intense, composed and calm. Yet, it makes people inexplicably nervous. Lin Wei looked like someone grabbed her by the throat. She couldn't even manage a PR response. In the end, she surrendered. No, Mr. Liu. As for what happened before, it was my fault for not getting the facts straight. I hope you can forgive me. I didn't say I forgave her. I turned toward where Chen Ze was standing, according to my memory, and asked again. Did I cheat? Everyone knew exactly who that question was directed at. At this point, Chen Ze's face had turned deathly pale. His friendly smile finally cracked a little. The 3 cameras on set were all pointed right at him. He only looked awkward for a second before his gentle voice rang out. Big brother proved himself, so of course that means you didn't cheat. Big brother, you're really amazing. Your memory is incredible. You must be able to do everything effortlessly, right? I'm so envious of you. But there was no helping it. By now, so many curious onlookers had joined. And they couldn't fight them off. Some busybodies even took Chen Ze's green tea remarks and made a compilation video, which really stirred up public disgust against him. I took off the blindfold. I originally wanted to say something, but I caught sight of Liu Ruyan right next to me and gave a light smile. My cold, sharp eyes softened with warmth, and I threw out a playful remark. Are you going to cry, Liu Ruyan? I said it in such a mischievous tone that the heavy atmosphere on set instantly dissipated. Liu Ruyan huffed, turned her face away, and thought to herself, Big brother is such a dork. Their normal interaction made everyone on set breathe a sigh of relief. Especially Cao Shuquan. He rushed up immediately and grabbed me in a hug. Cao Shuquan was a mess of tears and snot. My baby, you've had it so hard. I felt a bit flustered. What with all the winking, the hugging, and calling me baby? What am I supposed to do? Watching from the side, Liu Ruyan finally noticed something was wrong. Why is Big brother standing so stiff? She reached out and pulled me away. Are you uncomfortable? Why aren't you moving? I was worried about causing a misunderstanding. I have no interest in him. Liu Ruyan sighed helplessly. Brother. He just wants to play with you. Before evening, the director handed out mission cards to every guest. When she got to me, she offered it with both hands. Liu Ruyan stood off to the side, shooting me a cold look and huffing in annoyance. The host announced, will all guests please head to your designated transportation to Xichao village. Once you arrive, please select your housing based on the rankings from the second round. Dinner tonight will be held at the village embroidery hall. Please make your way there as soon as possible. Liu Ruyan and I hopped into the most comfortable sedan and took off. I fell asleep the moment I got in. I slept with my head tilted back, completely ignoring my image. Liu Ruyan fumbled around for a while on her own before finally finding an eye mask to put on me. Shen Yuchu and Cao Shuquan set off on an electric scooter. Their live stream chat was very peaceful. The two of them had no direct conflict, and the fans were getting along exceptionally well. Some fans even jokingly commented that this pair gave off a strange, mother and son vibe. Chen Ze and Mi Kai headed to the station to catch a bus. Throughout the trip, Chen Ze kept trying to strike up a conversation. But Mi Kai seemed completely uninterested. As the clouds parted, the moon took its place in the sky. Liu Ruyan and I arrived at Xichao village just as evening was setting in. As soon as we stepped into the village, the host rushed out from the side. Congratulations. You've won the best house in the entire village. The two of us were led into an exquisite little courtyard, complete with a front garden and a back pond. It had everything, air conditioning, a refrigerator, and other appliances. I nodded, feeling satisfied. Not bad. We dropped off our luggage at the house. Then, we walked through the night toward the embroidery hall for dinner. We passed by the houses of the 3rd and 4th place teams. The 3rd place house was just an ordinary home with simple decor. The only appliances were a water kettle and a fan. And the last place team was stuck in a simple little mud hut built right next to a pig pen, reeking of a god-awful stench. I nodded. It really is the best house in the village. Once it was time for dinner, the production crew pulled another stunt. The first team to arrive got a 5-course meal with soup and fruit for dessert. The third team to arrive got 3 dishes and soup, while the last place team was stuck with pickles, steamed buns, and rice porridge. Both Liu Ruyan and I are fast eaters, so in about 10 minutes. We had already finished our dinner. As we walked out of the embroidery hall, we happened to see Mi Kai and Chen Ze walking toward us. Mi Kai's face was deathly pale. She looked quite weak. Liu Ruyan, munching on a slice of watermelon, glanced at her, but said nothing. I, however, stopped. Attorney Mi, are you alright? Mi Kai was stunned. She hadn't expected me to be the one to initiate a conversation. Chen Ze chimed in. Mi was carsick from the bus. I never would have imagined, I said, that the great attorney Mi would be defeated by a bus. She seemed a bit better now, though. Their intimate interaction made the audience scream that they were shipping the pair. Liu Ruyan held her melon and asked Mi Kai curiously, if you get carsick, why did you choose the bus? Mi Kai didn't answer. The atmosphere got a little awkward, but Chen Ze looked touched. I can't believe you endured the smell of the bus just for the competition. You could have just told me, you know? I'm not the type of person who needs to fight for first place every single time, Mi Kai replied, speechless. Liu Ruyan frowned. What are they hinting at now? I kept it light. Oh, I see. Well, attorney Mi, make sure you drink plenty of warm water and get some rest. With that, I led Liu Ruyan away, and just then, she turned her microphone off. She told me to turn off the microphone. Liu Ruyan asked. Why are you suddenly concerned about that girl surnamed Mi? I shot back. Can't I be? Liu Ruyan blurted out. Since when did you two get so close? I asked, feeling puzzled. We're not that close. Why are you getting so worked up? I mean, she's a stranger. Why wouldn't she be acting up? I patiently explained to her. I heard she's a lawyer. She might be able to help out in the future. Liu Ruyan paused, stunned. Bro, did you get into some kind of trouble? I didn't know how to explain it to her. In my dreams, my money was somehow ending up in the heroine's account. It's probably just an inheritance issue. I need to consult with a lawyer. And Mi Kai just happened to be one. My silence made Liu Ruyan jump to the wrong conclusion. Bro, don't tell me you're planning on breaking the law? He looked at her, deadpan. So, that's what this girl really thinks of me. By 10 o'clock at night, the filming wrapped up and the live stream ended. Liu Ruyan still seemed uneasy. She grabbed a towel and covered up all the cameras in the room. While I was washing up, I took a quick look at my phone. My inbox, email, and messaging apps were all showing 99+ notifications. Most of them were from friends or business partners, all of them shocked that I had a celebrity for a sister. I thought for a moment, then snapped a picture of Liu Ruyan from behind. I posted it to my social media with the caption, "My little sister is quite the looker." While things were peaceful and quiet on our end, the other two groups were having a chaotic time. First, there were Cao Shuquan and Shen Yuchu, who were living in a small cabin right next to the pigsty. They were practically getting pickled by the smell of the pig pen. Eventually, they couldn't take it anymore. Once the cameras were off, they snuck out and dragged an air purifier over from somewhere else. On their way back, they ran right into Chen Ze, who was busy chatting with his fans on a live stream. The three of them just stood there, eyes locked, feeling awkward for a good while. Finally, Cao Shuquan spoke up. The director didn't explicitly say we couldn't. Right, Chen Ze, you're such a nice guy, you definitely wouldn't go snitching to the director, would you? Chen Ze nodded, looking torn. Alright then, so, this is our little secret now. From here on out, we're in this together. Cao Shuquan smiled and carried the equipment away with Shen Yuchu. Chen Ze watched them walk away, then smiled at the fans in his live stream. Senior Shen and brother Shuquan have it tough, too. Let's all just help them keep this from the production team, okay? The viewers in the live stream went wild. Of course we'll stick with Chen Ze. Chen Ze is the definition of gentle. Seeing he'd achieved his goal, Chen Ze happily ended his live stream. He sent a message to his manager, Li Xia. Sis, it's done. In the dead of night, the trending topics related to Chen Ze slowly climbed to the top. Chen Ze's gentleness, rejecting stigmatization. Chen Ze is the power of male tenderness surged to the top of the internet search charts overnight. By the morning rush, it had exploded even further. Curious passers-by who didn't know the truth clicked on it, only to see a group of netizens in the know, scolding, Chen Ze definitely bought these spots. Just a D-list nobody, yet he's trending every single day for no reason. I don't know why Dai has to target Chen Ze. He's such a good guy. And he'll continue to be great. Chen Ze is not only a fantastic actor, but he also has such a good heart. Unlike some people who have cringy acting skills and only try to clean up their image through variety shows. It's obvious that Chen Ze's fans are coming after Liu Ruyan. And let me tell you, Liu Ruyan's fanbase is notoriously aggressive. 10 minutes later, the war zone on the public square was already in full swing. 30 minutes later, the entire feed was flooded with screenshots and video links of Chen Ze's green tea style comments. Li Xia stared at the online remarks. All of you hired trolls are useless. You took the money but didn't get the job done. Her assistant stood to the side, timid and trembling. Sis, Liu Ruyan is just naturally popular, to begin with. Let's just stop trying to pick a fight with her. Li Xia sneered. Pick a fight? What does she have besides that face? She's a total loser with no brains and absolutely zero acting talent. I'm going to drag her down sooner or later. Li Xia thought for a moment, and a plan began to form. Go, call the paparazzi team.